They dress elegantly so that the unwary will fall for their traps. They lure unsuspecting victims into their clutches of death like a Venus flytrap. Holy War, Week 15. It's Sunday, April 12th. Today I visited Gospel Grace Church right beside Liberty Park in Salt Lake City. I'm going to share my experience and give a grade like I have everywhere else I visited this year out of 6 criteria. Here's the experience I had today. So for number 1, meaning and message, I'm going to rate that a 9. Now, meaning and message, this score, as always, is not based on whether I agree with the message, but how effectively the service offered interpretation of existence. Things like purpose, worldview, clarity, direction, and like interpretation of the human experience. Gospel Grace Church had a very clear worldview. They had a very clear line in the sand drawn, which I'm going to get into more today, was very clear. And that was that, according to them, Jesus is the only way. Jesus is the only way back to God. Unmistakable, very clear worldview. Number 2, ritual, the whole experience flow. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. It was really well done. A lot of intention was put into the service. This place was one of those like new age, evangelical, Jesus rock band churches, but it was a little bit different. The rock band was less rock and more folk. Like it was a little bit more toned down. They had a violinist who was really good, a cellist. They even had, instead of a drummer, they had a guy on the bongos. Now, number 3 is ethics and integrity. For this, I'm going to rate Gospel Grace Church just a 3 out of 10. But I think they'll actually, if anyone from there sees this video, I think they'll appreciate it. And here's why. The pastor talked about tolerance and this new age of tolerance, how tolerance, in their view, in his view, has evolved from simply accepting that other people have alternative points of view to where in our modern society and culture, tolerance means accepting other points of view as true, which I think is a fair delineation to make. But he said new tolerance is not okay when it comes to spiritual matters. Then he went on to say, and I'm paraphrasing from the sermon here, but he said, false teachers masquerade as servants of righteousness and promote a brand of Christianity that is intended to deceive. They dress elegantly so that the unwary will fall for their traps. They lure unsuspecting victims into their clutches of death like a Venus flytrap. Number 4, community, the community energy and the felt sense of belonging in this space. I'm going to rate that a 7. For number 5, learning and cognitive expansion, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. And this was the first place I've been to where they uh, really stick to the Bible. Like Pastor Lucas read right from the Bible. He read almost the entire chapter of 2 Corinthians 11 and then encouraged the congregation to also open their Bibles and read along. So I respected how closely they stick to the book. Some of the things that he shared were interesting. So when Paul is talking to the people in, or the church in Corinth, about watching out for like false teachers and fake gospels, he shared some of the things with his congregation to watch out for. So, for example, he said in the Quran, the Jesus that's in the Quran is not the Son of God, is not a member of the Holy Trinity who was resurrected. He shared that for the Latter-day Saints, that their Jesus uh, is the brother of Lucifer, and that he became a man and then progressed into godhood. And liberalism, or liberal Protestantism, they regard Jesus as an example, whereas Christians, like at Gospel Grace Church, they view Jesus as the Savior, the only way back to God. And then lastly, number 6, heart resonance and emotional impact. I'm going to say just a 4 there. I didn't feel spiritually nourished. That's going to give Gospel Grace Church a total score of 39 out of a potential 60 points. And here is how they rank through the first 15 weeks, the first 15 experiences I've visited on this journey so far this year. If you have an idea or a suggestion or a request for somewhere you think I should go, or you want me to come to your church, or there's somewhere that you've always wanted to check out but never wanted to go alone, or aren't sure if it's going to be cool, let me know and I will go check it out and then give that place a score out of 60 points. So let me know. Otherwise, I'll be back next week with something completely different. Thank you.